All right, I don't remember what all, I don't think I've done but one video on this thing, but this is the Barracuda mk2 Edge. I just want to do an update. I've been waiting. It's been a minute. It's been about 9 months. I think he had some possible sourcing problems on some of the stuff, post-COVID headaches, and anyways, I'd basically lost all motivation for it, but finally stuff starts showing up, so I'm back on this thing and I'm kind of getting pumped again. So where I'm at on it is my control arms, they're same as done. I got from him, I got all the chassis tabs and the housing for the CV2. The chassis tabs were like, I can't even remember what all came with it. The majority, the important thing that I needed was that CV2 housing, but it come with like the seatbelt tabs, upper shock mounts, front lower control arm mounts. That's kind of some important stuff. Like I said, I might have said seatbelt tabs. That was kind of the majority of the stuff. I went ahead and bought the uprights from him because essentially it was cheaper than having send burn out the plates, and then I would have still had to made the sleeve for the bearings and then source the bearings locally. I guess I could have ordered the bearings from him and then made them, but regardless, some of this stuff it's just flat cheaper to buy from him than it is to buy from Send. Probably because I don't know if he does it in-house or just volume pricing. If a guy was going to build 5 of these, you could dramatically cut the cost of parts you need. I did order these gusset plates for my my lower control arms. These are the top plates, and then these are the bottom plates. I made the rest of the control arm. I think I did a video on some of my jigs. I wanted to show what I'm doing on the front lower control arms and using that same concept of using all thread to keep stuff in plane. On these lower control arm mounts, I have taken all thread through here and snugged up against this I welded out on the bench. I used a bolt through here with a nut against that side and a nut against that side, and then you can squeeze that in or out and get everything parallel and set to the right width. There's a bolt here and a bolt there, so you get them set, weld your plate on, nothing moves, and so the same kind of concepts going on here. This is already welded, so I didn't need nuts inside. On this one, I could have either put nuts on the inside or a spacer, and spacer works fine. Spacer would have worked here too. I just didn't want to cut a spacer at the time. This time I just decided to go ahead and make a spacer. However, I found that this is essentially going to have to be sacrificial because I can't get that slid out. It's hitting this this is called the hip. I think this is the hip bar or something, hip joint, or I don't know. It's hitting this bar. I can't slide that all the way out, so I'm going to cut this in half, take it out in 2 pieces. Price of doing business is the way I see that kind of stuff. It is 5/8 all thread, so it's not the cheapest in the world, but this buggy's not the cheapest in the world either. I did get shocks. I don't have them laying out here. Maybe if I make another video, I will show that. Here's the CV2 cartridge. This is uses I don't know what it uses for calipers, but it uses a starter motor for reverse that mounts. The starter motor mounts right here, and then this is kind of like a flywheel, but that starter motor turns that, and that's your reverse. It's not going to get you out of a huge jam, but like unloading off a trailer in a parking lot or something like that, I think is what it's more intended for. He's got an option for a brake at each wheel, or just a centralized brake on the cartridge itself. I went the cheaper route because it's just one caliper and it shares that flywheel thing, if you want to call it that. It's not really a flywheel. I don't know what you call that, a ring gear. It shares that as the brake caliper and then the sprocket. It all come together. So this stuff could have been burned out again, but This has a lot of machine work in it, a lot of oddball hardware and stuff, and for the money, I just ended up buying that part. And then the starter, it uses some kind of a Subaru starter. But yeah, that's where I'm at on it. Like I said, upper and lower control arms are done on the back. My front lowers are done. I don't have them here. I've just got to add the lower shock mount to the arm, and then they're going to be done. Spindles I ordered from him. This is the other upright. These things here, again, I could make, but it would take me like a day a piece to make them, and they're like 60 bucks. And if your time's worth anything, it's cheaper just to buy them. And these are the drive flanges. These are drilled for a Polaris drive pattern. And the way this works is there's two bearings go in the upright. That goes on that side. This goes on that side. They bolt together. And then they use a CV shaft for like a, I guess they're popular in dune buggies. They're a Porsche axle shaft. They can essentially, they're the CV unit, and then you can get the axle shaft cut to whatever length you need to fit whatever application, and that's what he's gone with on this. But yeah, that's where I'm at, and just wanted to post a little update. Kind of pumped to get back going on again. I'm going to get started on some body work. Got to get the pedals mounted, radiator, and get the engine in it, get it mounted, start fabbing up a header. And then I'm going to kind of be sneaking up on it after that, just kind of seat, and then I'm going to tear it all back down. I'm going to get it all done, tear it all back down, and finish weld everything out, and then have the chassis powder coated and the suspension components powder coated. But just wanted to post an update. Like I said, it's been a while since I've said anything about it because I've been waiting on parts, and that kind of ruined my drive on it, but I'm back going again, so we'll get her done.